You're listening to the Loyalty Minute, the show that helps you build better customer loyalty and more valuable user engagement. With your host, Rob Gallo.
Welcome, loyal listeners, to another episode of the Loyalty Minute. I'm your host, Rob Gallo, and today I'm super eager and excited to speak with Carlos Dunlap Beard. Carlos is currently serving as the VP of Loyalty Solutions at Clarus Commerce. He's a recognized loyalty marketing strategist and thought leader who has been designing, enhancing, and implementing loyalty programs for more than 20 years. Welcome to the show, Carlos. Thanks for joining me.
Hey, Rob. Thanks for having me, man. I really do appreciate it.
Great. So for those loyal listeners out there who don't know who you are, perhaps you could share a bit of background about your story, how you got to where you're at today.
Yeah, well, interesting story. So at least I think it's interesting. I've been at this, as you said, for a couple of decades, and I kind of stumbled into it because I was doing more employee incentive programs, sales incentives, sales effectiveness programs for merits here in St. Louis, where I live. Mm-hmm. And then, I got brought into kind of writing this business plan and for this it was called merits frequency marketing. And I was kind of a contributor to the plan, one of the early members on the team. We didn't have any software, any clients, and we grew it from nothing to about a $500 million business in 10 years. And so I was hooked, and I've been hooked, and I've been in loyalty ever since that time. And I've been to probably 5 other agencies. And then I found out about Clarus and what it does that's so unique. And I thought, man, I want to go over there and try that. And I've been here for 2 years, and I absolutely love it. So awesome. Yeah, as you said, I've worked with a lot of companies in a lot of different industries, and hopefully we get to talk about some of that experience as we go today.
For sure. So before we even get started, what in that context, Carlos, what do you prefer? Do you prefer inward focused loyalty or outward, meaning to the consumers on the outward side, or directed towards, employees?
Oh, well, absolutely to consumers. I just got started in the employee side, but the consumer side has excited me and has thrilled me ever since. And I'm one of the lucky ones. I love my job. I like being able to help brands better understand their customers and influence their behaviors that are more brand beneficial, but not just by tricking them or hypnotizing them, but by providing them with the incentive to make different decisions than they might ordinarily make if the incentive or the loyalty program wasn't there.
Awesome. Yeah, I get you. So the first question that I normally ask all our guests is, what does loyalty mean to you as a consumer? Carlos, how do you think about loyalty as a customer?
Yeah, I think about it in terms of brand favorability. Like, if all else were equal, who would you go with? I mean, to me, it's about a relationship. It's about some passion. I mean, there are certain brands that is, being passionate about is a good thing, or certain brands drive a passion in consumers whereby maybe other brands don't. But it's about trust. It's about something that's relevant, and not just because. Loyalty to me is somewhat tough to get, but once you get it, it's hard to lose it unless you really screw up. You can even have some small screw ups. You can even have some big screw ups. But if you come back and you make it right and you make it even better, then the loyalty is even deeper than it was before. So, it's just, again, I just love what I do. So I can go on about this forever.
Yeah, we definitely recognize that it's an imperfect world, mm-hmm. and it's mainly from a human level that mistakes happen within a company that you're doing business with. But again, I think you're 100% right, spot on, Carlos. If they acknowledge it and they recognize it and they correct it, then you're like, okay, they're human, but at least they see they're not robots that say, and just screw it. So what, you can name brands. I mean, we're wide open here. What would be some of the companies that you're loyal to and why? And if you could answer in a kind of a story, that would be great. I don't know if you've ever listened to any of our previous episodes, but we've had some pretty interesting stories. I don't want to repeat this one a million times, but there was one guy that was, I forget, it was one of my early episodes. He was flying from Australia to the UK, and he had a stopover in Southeast Asia. He gets there, and he's on BA, British Airways, and it turns out he needs an overnight visa. And he's like, what am I going to do? I don't have one, right? Because the flight wasn't going to leave till the next day, the visa. So Virgin Airways, listening next door in the next kiosk, hears him and says, come over here, we'll take care of you. They get him on the next flight, and he's been a Virgin Airways customer ever since. Yeah. So that's a story that I think people can resonate with. And if you have some on the other side of why you don't do business with another company, either way, we'd love to hear.
Yeah, I've got plenty, but I'll start with, I'll just follow up on that Virgin thing, which I really love the fact that the Virgin's mantra is, at least the founder's mantra is, take care of your customers and they'll take care of your employees rather, and they'll take care of your customers. Yeah. That's the way. Yeah. Take care of your employees and they'll take care of your customers. And that's obviously that show in that example that really, that was really highlighted, because the people at Virgin didn't have to do that, but they did it, and they've earned a customer for life. Yep. So I love that kind of stuff. I'm a big Maker's Mark fan. I love Maker's Mark. I know we're talking about other types of industries, but I believe CPG is just poised for a big loyalty growth, especially in the environment we're in today where it's tougher to get to consumers.
I agree.
Or actually easier in some respects now because more people are online. But I love Makers. I love their ambassador program. They don't monitor what I buy, but because I'm in it, I feel loyal to them. I get gifts, I get surprise and delight things. I get bourbon ball maker scars from my bottles. I get invited to take the tour of the facility, which I've done. I get to name barrels. All this stuff is very personal to me. I love bourbon. So, and I try different kinds of bourbon. I'll go to Basil, I'll go to Jim Beam, Double Oak, I'll go to Woodford. I'll do all of them, but Maker's Mark is always my home base and always come back there, and I feel like they know me. It's so weird, but I know they don't, but I feel like they do. Right. So I really love that.
Do they correspond with you regularly? Are you on
stuff? Constantly. Yeah. From Rob Samuels and I forgot, a woman corresponds with me. So I get emails a lot. I get printed stuff. And who sends a lot of printed stuff? Branded, personalized, printed, double, triple fold with the red wax seal. It's cool stuff.
That's presentation 101 right there. Yeah. The way even their bottle obviously is unique.
Yes.
It's just, and I think the casino industry still does a really good job of the printed material that shows up at your house after you've been there 3 days ago, 4 days ago, with something that's, again, specifically geared towards you and your likes and dislikes. Yes. Mainly your likes, obviously.
Yeah.
So what else? Any other brands that you think?
Absolutely. And I'll try not to make all these stories so elongated, but, I really am a fan of Apple. I love Apple because of the ease of use. I love Macs. Even though I don't have a Mac right now because the company won't allow me to have one. Mm. But I have the iPhone, I have the watch. I've got, I got the AirPods, and of course I've got the iPad and other stuff. But what I really like about it is the ease of use. I like somehow it inspires passion in me and other people to have them. If you're an Apple person, you're an Apple person, and you'll fight Android people to the death for who's better. And then what I also like about it, it has these other little awesome conveniences, like, it tethers me to my daughters and to my wife, and my daughters are all over the place and all over the country. But I feel like I'm with them when I can see where they are, and instantly understand, hey, are you good or you're not good? It lets me sleep at night. So anyway, I think that's just pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
Yeah, and then one thing that does, one company that concerns me a little bit that I would love to be loyal to is Total Wine. I would love to be loyal to them, but I don't think they get me. I know they don't get me, and I don't think they care to get me.
What are they doing wrong?
Well, the thing is, again, go back to bourbon. And I know the name of the company is Total Wine, or the brand is Total Wine. But if you ever go into a Total Wines and More store, you'll see that half the store is wine and the rest of the store is spirits and beer. So I like there. They have a great assortment of bourbons. I like to go in there. It's not very convenient for me. It's a 30-minute drive for me to get there. And there are many other stops along the way where I could go to get my bourbon. But the thing is, I've been a member of their program for over 2.5 years, yet I consistently get wine offers. Wine, the Spanish wine of the month. Come to our wine tasting. The gift, they give out a gift for members every month, and it's always like a wine carrier bag or wine gift bag. It's like, God, man, do you not know me in all these purchases over all these years? How do you not understand?
Yeah.
And the thing about it, what really irritates me, I guess, in some respects, is the fact that in this day and age, Rob, I mean, you know this. I mean, this was this way in the casino business, a decade or so ago, or a couple of decades. There's so much information. You collect this information on me. Every time I come in, I fill out my profile. If you ask me what my favorite color is, I would tell you. I mean, I would give you just the mundane details to help you communicate to me better.
Right.
Yet you don't. And that's just shameful.
It is. I think it's an opportunity that's completely missed because, so I probably said this story a million times too. Foxwoods, my wife and I would go to Foxwoods. She'll play the slots. I only play poker. Now they get it because when we get home 3 days later, she would get something that's slots related. Here's a calendar of the slots club for the month and blah, blah, blah. I'll get something about poker tournaments because they know that's all I play.
Right.
They could see it because they have that. So if you're going into that store, Total Wine, and you're only buying spirits and they're pitching you on wine, what they're doing is they're making the mistake, generally speaking, they're making the mistake of thinking, all right, well,
We're still online. I don't know.
Still online. Okay. Power just went out. Come on.
Poltergeist.
Oh, it's my battery backup, I guess. All right. Well, we're going to go for as long as we can. That's the power's going on and off. Anyway, what I was saying is, I think most companies make the mistake of thinking he's already buying these spirits. Let's try and convert him and get him on to the, to wine, which it doesn't make sense because a poker player is a poker player. He's not going to go in and play any other game because he thinks about the odds in his favor and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, exactly. And so you're absolutely right on that because the thing is, they may only value me as a person that purchases $300 a year worth of spirits or whatever else, or worth of bourbon.
Right.
So they try to get me to purchase wine across and get me into other categories. But the thing is that what they don't understand is that I buy bourbon from other places. I buy it from Costco when I go in there. I'll buy it from the grocery store if I just happen to see something, which usually I don't. But I'll buy it from Randall's Fine Wines and Liquors, which is a little bit closer to me. I can buy it from Friar Tuck's if I'm near that. So by marketing better and making me feel more special, they could get the lion's share of my spend on spirits. But when you ignore me and you treat me as if you don't know me, even though you have all this information on me, then I don't have any desire to necessarily be loyal to you.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's, again, I think opportunity is missing from the folks that just don't get it for whatever reason. So, I mean, let's turn the tables and actually look at it from the other side of the table and the coin and say, Carlos, working with Clarus, what is it that you think you can do to get people on board with loyalty who just don't get it?
Yeah, and when you say people, are we talking about consumers or brand managers?
Brands, companies, behind the scenes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing I've said often. Again, I've been in this game for a while. Is that it's tough to convince people to do loyalty if they're not thinking about it. If it's just cold calling, hey, you want to launch a loyalty program? I'll be like, nope, not on my list of things to do. So so the thing is, what people need to understand about it is it's not just a trick. It's not just we should do this program because our competitors are doing it. It's more about really trying to understand your customers better. The thing about loyalty, and one of the things I love about loyalty, is that it's so reciprocal, or it should be. Consumers will tell you anything for the most part, everything, as long as they trust the fact you know what to do with it, and then you show by your actions that you are actually doing the right things, and that you value their willingness to share with you, and that you value them as a customer, and that, and that you're not trying to dupe them in any way. So the way in which we do it, which is different from any other loyalty company out there, and trust me, I've worked at probably most of them, or actually not most of them, but most of the well-known ones for sure, is that traditionally, if a brand wants to do loyalty, they've got to come off some coin. That thing needs to be in the budget, of $250,000, $500,000, $1 million+ for setup, and then another, $250,000, $500,000, $1 million+ to run it. And then somebody's got to fund the rewards. So that's another, insert number here. And then the brand hopes that they get something good out of it, that consumers will join, and that they will see the incrementality that loyalty is supposed to drive, right? So the thing that I love about what we do at Clarus, and the reason why I was attracted to Clarus to begin with, even though it took many conversations for me to really get my head around it, because I was so, like in Shawshank, I was just so institutionalized by more traditional loyalty programs or loyalty agencies, is that we don't charge fees for those things. We don't charge fees for implementation to the brand. We don't charge fees for technology license. We don't charge fees for program support or reporting or analytics or strategy or enhancements. So, and the reason we don't is because our goal is to partner with brands and to put some skin in the game and say, we're in this together, and we won't make a dollar until you began making dollars. And the only way either of us are going to make any money is that we have to put such a compelling value proposition in the marketplace that consumers are willing to not just sign up, but to pay to be a part of the program. Because the value proposition is not 1%, it's not 5%, it's like 10% or greater. And so when consumers do the math, they have to say, I think that if I'm willing to pay $10 a month or $100 a year or whatever else to be a part of this program, that I can get my money back plus. And so consumers are pretty good at doing calculations these days, because we've kind of trained them to do that. Mm-hmm. And so that's the difference. And I think that that's the opportunity. And that's why I think that the loyalty industry is in for an evolution.
Yeah, I get it. So let me ask you this, because I don't know how long my battery backup is going to last right now, because as you could see, my power has literally gone out. I'm sitting basically in the dark. Anyway, so what sort of examples can you give? Obviously, the biggest one is the 800-pound gorilla of Amazon with the Amazon Prime, which I'm a member, and they have ancillary benefits as well as the music and the Prime Video as well. So what sort of companies that, if you can speak of, that you have done case studies of examples of companies that Clarus has worked with that have come up?
Yeah.
Nice. Hey,
look at you. You're back. Dark Rob is gone. Enlightened Rob is back. Yeah. So we have a lot of our clients are online, more traditional or old school catalogers that are converted to online. Mm-hmm. Some of those clients are like Shop HQ, kind of that's more media, but online. The Amerimark brands and PGI brands and a lot of others. So we work with a great, right now we have like 70+ branded programs in market today. And it's only growing. We have launch after launch still scheduled. So that's cool.
And they're all paid? They're all doing that paid loyalty program type?
They all are. And all are very successful at it. The other thing that's really cool is that it's not just brands we're working with, but others out there are doing it. GameStop has a paid loyalty program. Wayfair has a paid loyalty program. CVS has one in CarePass. Restoration Hardware. In fact, you know who's testing one now? Speaking of 800-pound gorillas, is Walmart. Oh. Walmart's about to come out with Walmart Plus, right? Yep. Which is their kind of finger to Amazon saying, or I wouldn't call it a finger, but it's more of a challenge to Amazon saying, we are about to take you on. Yeah. And not only are, you might have more products, but we have more distribution centers because every store is basically a distribution center and everybody lives within 10 miles of Walmart somehow.
Yeah.
So Walmart and Walmart Plus and their $99, $90 whatever dollar a year fee. And plus they've got other things, same day delivery. They've got groceries just as, and probably, a wider range of options, even in Whole Foods. I mean, it's on, it's really on. And of course, Lululemon's program, which they launched officially at the end of 18 or beginning of 19, that's $100 a year program. And they're doing gangbusters. And the thing that makes theirs so cool is they made theirs about lifestyle. They made their program emulate and match up and totally be integrated with their whole brand and culture. And I think that's kind of the key there. They didn't try to do something else. You made a comment earlier about when I was giving a Total Wine example about not, understanding who I am and catering to that. And I try to not assuming you had this and try to sell me something else. Mm-hmm. Not assuming I was going to continue to buy bourbon for you and you're going to force wine into my life, which is not really going to happen. So, but Domino's made that similar kind of mistake early on when they had their initial pizza rewards program. And they had they were doing points, they were trying to do gift cards and branded merchandise and other things. And then it wasn't really going well. And they talked to their customers, their members of the program, and said, why are you not liking these rewards? What's going on? And the feedback they got was, because we buy your pizza because we like your pizza. And as a reward, we want pizza.
Well, pizza.
Don't try to give me all this other stuff and try to, confuse me with all the fancy tricks and gadgetry. No, I just want pizza. Yep. And that's like, duh. I mean, sometimes the simplest answer is the right answer.
Yeah. It's funny. You sort of answered the last question that I normally have, which is what sort of actionable advice could you share with our listeners that they can implement today to help them attract and retain more customers? And the answer is give them what they want.
Yeah.
Right? They're telling you what they want. Listen.
Absolutely. Sometimes we tend to do things that's easier for us, or we do things that, like in a vacuum, we come up with something and we have a focus group of 1 or 3 people and we think, oh, we got it. We got this. Who wouldn't want this? Well, the answer is most people. Most people wouldn't want it. Give people what they want. And I think that's really the key, Rob. And that's why again, it's not as difficult as we make it sometimes, because people will tell you what they want.
Yes.
You do it, then you get what you want, a loyal customer.
Exactly. I've heard this saying a long time ago. And in fact, Zig Ziglar said it, if you help enough people in life get what they want, you'll get what you want.
Yeah.
So the best way to do that is, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in that ratio.
Right. Exactly.
Listen more than you speak, and they will tell you what they want.
Exactly.
So listen, Carlos, this was a fantastic conversation. There's no question we could talk about this for hours. I know the attention span of our listening population is probably waning right now because there's a million other things going on between the coronavirus and everybody else's lives. But if listeners want to get a hold of you for more information, what's the best way they could do that, Carlos?
Yeah, they can easily get to me at premiumloyalty@claruscommerce.com. So that's premiumloyalty@claruscommerce.com.
Cool. I'll put it in the show notes as well. Well, I want to thank you for your time again, Carlos. I definitely appreciate the conversation. I thought it was, entertaining. I think our listeners hopefully they enjoyed it. I want to thank you guys for listening and being a loyal listener and investing some of your valuable time with us. If you feel you received value from the show, we would appreciate a 5-star review at your favorite podcast streaming service. It's what helps us grow. If you know someone else who you think might value listening to the program, please do share. To reference this and other Loyalty Minute episodes, please visit theloyaltyminute.com. Enjoy.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for your next edition of the Loyalty Minute.